Greetings, Professor McKee here with another quick Excel tip your finance professor wishes you knew. In this video, we will learn how to use several functions in Excel to find the profitability index for a capital budgeting question. In any intro finance class, you will have a unit on capital budgeting, and we professors will always have questions where we give you the schedule of cash flows for an investment project and then ask you to use a decision rule, like the profitability index, to determine if that project is a good or bad project. If you want to ace those questions, this video is for you. So I prepared a standard question asking us to find the profitability index, also known as PI. And to get started for any capital budgeting question, it's best that we take this verbal description and convert it into a timeline. So we have a negative cash flow of $400,000 in year 0. That's our initial expense. And then we have positive cash flows for years 1 through 5. So 100,000, 120,000, not 120 million, or 1.2 million, 125,000, 130,000, and 135,000. So this is all the cash flows from year 0 through year 5. And we also need our weighted average cost of capital, our discount rate. That's going to be our 12%. That's given to us right there. So I've already entered it for us. And for profitability index, the first thing I'm going to do is find the present value for each individual cash flow. It works better if I do it this way. So I'm going to find equals negative present value. I put in my interest rate, which is going to be dollar signs around it, as I want that to be fixed. Interest rate is going to be changed for everyone. Number of periods is our year here. Our payment amount is 0. And our future value is our value for the cash flow. So I still stay with that negative 400,000, and now I can click and drag, and it will update to the new year and new cash flow, but it will stay fixed at my WACC. So I'm getting my present values for each of these years. These are all brought back to year 0, and I multiply it by negative so it stays the same sign as my actual cash flows here. Maintaining the signs is important for the profitability index. Okay, so now I have my positive cash flows here and my negative cash flows all brought back to year 0. So I have them in present value terms. And now I need to group them based on their signs. That's why I was so careful about keeping the signs by multiplying by negative 1 there. I want all my positive cash flows added up in row 10, and all my negative cash flows, there's only one, is added up in row 11. And to do that, I'll use the equals sum if value. So it's going to take the sum if it meets a criteria. So I go through this range, and my criteria is that it is greater than 0. So it's a positive cash flow. So it is adding up all the cash flows, but it's only including these positive ones. I'll do the same thing on row 11, sum if my whole range, but now I want less than 0. So I want the negative cash flows. And I'm going to multiply this by -1 because I'm going to, be dividing them in just a second. So I have 433,000 of positive cash flows, and I have 400,000 of negative cash flows. I could have just grabbed this 1 year because that's the only year, but if there's a different question with negative cash flows somewhere else besides just that 1 year, this sum if construction will work regardless of what our years here. So it is future proofing for future questions. And for my profitability index, I only take my first one, I divide by the second one, and I get 1.08. Congratulations, we have found our profitability index, 1.08 and many things after it. Sometimes your question will only ask for the profitability index, in which case you're done. However, you may also be asked to interpret the PI, and to do that, we just compare it to 1. Is it greater than 1? Indeed it is. So we would then recommend to accept this warehouse construction it's going to add value because our profitability index is greater than 1. If it had been something less than 1, then it would be creating negative value. We would say, don't do it. Now, since we have been using cell references here, I can make changes to my WACC. I can make changes to my timeline if we have a new problem. And I can adapt this spreadsheet that I've constructed to solve for a new profitability index. Just be careful that, if you have additional years or fewer years, that you're only counting the correct number of years when you're doing those calculations. But with those cell references, this allows you to handle any additional questions with profitability index that your professor might throw at you. And all we need is the PV function and that SUMIF function in conjunction with each other. If you found this video helpful, please comment, like, and/or subscribe so others can find this video too. Happy study!